If you've been comparing tower after tower on Amazon, scrolling past the glossy images and trying to imagine which one will actually sit on your desk without turning your office into a mini server room, this review is here to cut through the noise. You've probably asked yourself whether you need a machine that can crunch numbers for a spreadsheet, render a 4K video, or just run the latest games without a hiccup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the real-world experience of the Dell Pro Tower so you can decide if it truly fits the workflow you have in mind, or if you'd be better off looking elsewhere. First off, the thing that trips most people up is the headline spec list: a 20-core i7, 64 GB of RAM, a 2 TB SSD, all wrapped in a carbon black chassis. Those numbers sound impressive, but they don't tell you how the machine behaves once you fire it up. I spent a few evenings running a mixed workload that mimics a typical small business day: a couple of Outlook tabs, a heavy Excel spreadsheet pulling live data, Adobe Premiere Pro editing a 30-minute interview, and, because I also like to unwind, a session of Elden Ring on medium settings. The tower handled the Office apps without a pause, and the SSD kept Premiere's timeline snappy. I could cut, trim, and preview clips in near real time. When I switched to the game, the CPU kept the frame rate steady, but the lack of a dedicated graphics card meant I was leaning on the integrated SE graphics. The result was respectable 1080p performance at medium-high, but anything above that quickly showed its limits. If your gaming habit leans toward competitive shooters at 144 Hz or you want ultra settings in the latest AAA titles, you'll need to add a discrete GPU. What really sets this Dell apart is the business-oriented features that you don't see on a typical gamer's rig. The tower comes with Windows 11 Pro, which includes BitLocker encryption and remote management tools that IT departments love. In a test where I simulated a sudden power loss, the system's built-in PowerEdge-style UPS integration kicked in and performed an orderly shutdown, saving my open documents. For anyone running a home office, a freelance studio, or a small team, that kind of continuity can be the difference between a lost client and a saved deadline. The chassis also has easy access panels, so swapping out the SSD or adding a second drive is a 2-minute job with no tools required, a small but genuine convenience when you need to scale storage as projects grow. Now, let's talk about the practical drawbacks. The first thing most buyers notice is the size. This isn't a compact mini tower you can tuck behind a monitor. It's a full-height desktop that occupies roughly the same footprint as a traditional office workstation. If your desk space is limited, you'll need to plan for it. The second issue is noise. The high-performance CPU runs hot under load, and while Dell's thermal design is competent, the fans spin up noticeably during long rendering sessions. In a quiet office environment, that hum can become a mild distraction. It's not a deal-breaker for most, but it's something to be aware of if you value a silent workspace. Who should consider buying this machine? If you're a graphic designer, video editor, or CAD engineer who needs a reliable workhorse that can juggle large files, multiple virtual machines, and occasional gaming without pulling the plug, the Dell Pro Tower hits the sweet spot. The 64 GB of RAM is more than enough for Photoshop with dozens of layers, while the 2 TB SSD provides the speed and capacity you need for raw footage or hefty project archives. Small business owners who want a computer that can be managed remotely, encrypted, and backed up with minimal hassle will also appreciate the Pro features baked into the OS. For gamers who prioritize frame rates above all else, the lack of a dedicated GPU means you'll have to budget extra for a graphics card, which can push the total cost well beyond what you'd pay for a pre-built gaming rig with a mid-range GPU already installed. On the flip side, if you're a casual user whose primary activities are web browsing, streaming, and occasional office work, you're probably overpaying for this level of horsepower. The same performance you get for high-end video editing could be achieved with a less expensive mid-range desktop that still includes a discrete GPU for better gaming out of the box. Likewise, if you already have a solid graphics card and just need a CPU upgrade, you might look at a workstation that lets you customize the GPU separately, rather than buying a bundle where the GPU is an afterthought. Pricing-wise, Dell positions this as an enterprise-grade machine, and the price reflects that. It's not cheap, but the value isn't just in raw specs, it's in the combination of support, warranty options, and the peace of mind that the system won't suddenly go offline during a critical client presentation. The 4.3-star rating from a few hundred reviewers suggests that most owners are satisfied, likely because the tower delivers.